Now come to the next section. For making another section, click here. So a new section appeared. You can write here, for example, questions, and description, it is optional. If you want to write something here, then you can use this. Otherwise, I'm going to the next question. Now your questions start from here. Here I can write question number, for example, question number 1, question number 2, but uh, deliberately I'm not using any question number. Why? I will discuss it in the end. And as you know, I'm making multiple choice questions, just like paper 1 of CIE in chemistry, biology, and physics. So I'm using the choice multiple choice here. Okay. For example, I want to ask student about subatomic particles. So I'm writing a question here. Which of the following is the lightest particle? It is a very simple question. For this level, you can correct your spelling here. You can use your choices here. For example, nucleus, electron, proton, neutron. You have another option for making the student little bit confused, that you can add another. It means answer is other than these 4 options, but I'm not using this. I don't want to make my student confused, and it is not the criterion of our CIE. Okay, now there is another thing. We are making it multiple choice question and we required it. Click here, and here we have different options. We will use it here. Okay, so this is your question, but here should be the answer key, but it is not appearing here. So before going to write another question, we should check the setting from here. There's the setting button. Click here, and this is the general information about this, presentation information, and quizzes. Instead of going in detail, you just make this a quiz. After clicking this, multiple options are here, but right now I'm not going in detail. Now come to our question again. Now you can see, now answer key is here. So I'm clicking the answer key. Which of the following is the lightest particle? So among these 4 options, electron is the correct answer. I mark it, and before clicking the button of done, we should write the points. Either it is of 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, it's up to you as per your question, as per your need. So now done. So in your window, this tick mark is mentioning that you have marked the answer, but it will not appear to the student. We will see the preview before submitting it. So now making another question, and you should remember, if it is open and you click here, then question will appear after this. Or in other case, suppose you are in this box and you click question, then question will appear above the previous question. So it depends on you. When you will be in practice, you can handle it easily. So I'm here and I'm writing another question. Suppose for this question, I need a periodic table. So what can I use? I can't make periodic table here, so we can use this option. From here, we can browse a picture. Yes, part of the periodic table here. You can see periodic table appeared here. So in the same way for biology student, teachers of biology and physics, they can select the picture from their folder and it can be pasted here. Even you can remove this picture. See here, it can be removed. And go to the previous question and add image here. Then image will appear after the previous question. And you can select this again. I'm selecting the same picture of periodic table. So you can see here, image of the periodic table is here, and I can write the little bit description of the picture. Image title, part of the periodic table is given below. Now write the question here. You can use this picture for several questions. I'm writing only one for making the description very short. For example, I want to ask the student, from the above periodic table, select an element which form ionic bond with the elements of group 1 and group 2. But it forms a double bond with its own atom, a double covalent bond with its own atom. Now we can write choices here: fluorine, chlorine, sodium, oxygen. And out of 4 choices, we should select the answer key again. The correct answer is oxygen. Mark the point here and done. And switch on the required button. Here we have another option, shuffling of the option order. For example, here the first option is F, second is Cl chlorine, third is sodium, and another is oxygen. So for avoiding the cheating from the student, you can mark it here. So if it is marked shuffle option order, so these option order would be different to the different students. In the same way, in first question, you should have a check on the shuffle out order of the options. So in this way, these will not be appeared in the same sequence for all the students. It would be different for different students. There is another option for making a question. Here is a button for duplicate. You can duplicate the question. What is its advantage? Its advantage is that if you want to create another question with minor differences, then you can use this. Another advantage of using this duplicate option is that answer point for the answer is already written there, so don't bother for making it correct, and you can use the same choices for some another question. Which of the following is able to make a 9 with minus with +2 +1 charge? So you have to change your answer key because now answer is sodium. Done. And use the shuffle button. It is already shuffled. So this is another way for making the question. One more way that you can make a question is import the question from some other files. I've already some quizzes, so I can select a question from other quizzes. Either we can select all or we can select a few of the questions. For example, I'm selecting this question. So you can see a question from the previous quiz I have loaded here. So you do not need to write it again. You do not need to type it again. Okay. Now in setting, one more option is there. See here in presentation, shuffle question order. It is just like the shuffling option for a question. Previously, we have discussed that if we check a shuffle option, then the given option in MCQs can be shuffled. But here, if shuffling option is here and you put a check here, then what would happen? It happened like this. For some of the student, this would be the question number 1, but for others, another question would be question number 1. So there would be the difference in question number. There is a shuffling. So it is another check, another filter, so that uh, you can control uh, any type of cheating or unfair means. So I think you can understand how can we make the questions.